And so just to make it perfectly clear, I am proposing this as a mechanism, as the underlying mechanism of electromagnetic radiation itself. And so in other words, when you see a single light ray, when you perceive a single light ray from a star or from the sun that comes to the Earth, that single light ray is the standing wave that carries the physical matter that is the observer through all of time-space to the next moment. That undulation between the physical matter and its other moments in time is the perception of the photon. And so these 6 movements are responsible for the translation of the pattern that is the electromagnetic energy, that is the physical matter through time itself. And so this is an underlying mechanism of time that I'm proposing as a way to alternately explain, to better understand the nature of the relationship between the physical matter, the electromagnetic radiation, and time. Now, this circle is an abstraction. The circle for hypertime is an abstraction. But the actual detail of what this is the nature of a circle. So these rays, these undulations that happen in between the moments of the photon, that carry the photon through time, that carry the matter and energy through time, are incredibly brief with respect to our normal time. These undulations are a harmonic of the photon wavelength itself. The undulation happens at a much, much greater speed. And so the hypertime wavelength, the wavelength between this object and its other component moment that exists through hypertime when it moves through the 6 directions, is unknown, and it's not perceptible to us because of the nature of our perception, because of the fact that we are the pattern and not the wave that is moving the pattern. This is the most difficult thing to understand in astrotometry. This is the most difficult concept, is the concept of how things are moved through hypertime, both matter and energy, and the relationship between matter and energy falls out of the nature of this movement. The nature of that relationship, that E equals mc squared relationship, falls out of this mechanism. This is how matter and energy are related in time-space. And so what we are conceiving about the nature of the heavens is replaced in astrotometry by the concept of the astrotome. And so if you consider for a minute the image that we get from a distant galaxy, you can see how the implications of the nature of the curved time-space will flesh out in the model of the astrotome. Because obviously this relationship with the photon, with the axis of the thing that is moving the Earth through time, also exists with every other source of energy that we observe in the cosmos, and possibly other forms of energy that are not observable in the cosmos. And so when you try to think about how this might look in the bigger picture, you might consider the nature of what we perceive to be a galaxy. So you've got a galaxy with these spiral arms on it. And the way that the Earth is moving through time, if this is the Earth, the way that the Earth is moving through time is that it's being translated from moment to moment on a supersymmetric plane, wherein what it was is changed slightly, and because of the supersymmetry, the perspective on the primary time axis is slightly different. And so you have this rotational perception from the nature of the movement of the Earth through time. And so the big movement in astrotometry as far as the astrotome is to realize that the Earth is not separate from everything that's up there. And this is, like I said before, this is way beyond the discovery that the Earth was spherical. This is much, much bigger. And the understanding it is only a matter of applying the underlying relationship of time and energy. The relationship that light has with the nature of movement through time. To sort that out, if you sort that out, that is the key to understanding this. If we want to conserve the existing three-dimensional model that we have about the nature of the cosmos, I would propose that the best way to do it is to understand that there is this planetary wavelength that the planet moves, is translated through time-space in a single moment. And it, like I said, it moves through the ray of light that we see. The ray of light we see coming from the heavens is only the vector. It's only an approximation of the direction through which, in hypertime, in a time that is between our times, an undetectable amount of time, the entire form, the pattern of the Earth itself has a wavelength. And that, you know, obviously there's going to be a lot more in between here if this is apparently the sun. But the concept is that there is a planetary wavelength. Everything is moving through the light, actually being translated. The pattern of everything is being translated through the light itself, through the electromagnetic energy itself, to arrive at the next moment, which exists in a space that is folded. And so when you walk down the street and it's night and you're looking up and there's all these stars up there, and you're walking through the night and you see the stars moving. You see the stars moving as you move, and they appear to be at an infinite distance. They appear to be this infinite light. That infinite fold is through time and space. And so your perspective on the cosmos is changing. And so there was a time when we believed that the world was flat. And then we realized that you could travel around it. And then our world changed completely. When we realized it wasn't flat, it expanded our horizons. Now, what I'm trying to point out, what I'm trying to bring into our understanding is that the sky is no longer the limit. The Earth does not end at its apparent physical sphere. That's an illusion. That's an illusion not unlike the flat Earth illusion. And it is intricately related to the nature of our three-dimensional existence. I appreciate you watching this, and if you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks. And so these 6 movements are responsible for the translation of the pattern that is the electromagnetic energy, that is the physical matter, through time itself.